It is January 18th, 2015, and I am in Zion National Park. I know that probably doesn't come as much of a surprise, but in some ways maybe a little bit of a surprise because I was just here. Just 3 months ago was my fall trip to Zion, and it was a very productive trip. I got like 4 or 5 shots from it, which turned out quite nice. But I had some observations when I got back from that trip, and it was as though I never really went on the trip. And I think most of that was because leading up to that trip, my wife and I had just moved into a different house. We spent the entire summer getting our old house ready to sell. And we literally signed the papers like in the last week before coming out here. So I don't think photography was on my mind as much as it should have been. I didn't really have that anticipation leading up to the trip. And also had a little bit of pressure on me because I needed to get about 4 or 5 solid shots from the trip this past fall to get the 9 photos to make a portfolio book. So I had a little bit of pressure riding me on that, but I remember getting back from that trip and kind of commenting to my wife that I don't even feel like I was there. And in some ways, producing the video journals was kind of like living the experience the first time instead of, reliving it. But I decided to come back here during the winter time, just to spend some time scouting around, because when I come here in the fall, and there are so many just very amazing opportunities around every corner, the fall colors just popping, I don't really have time to explore beyond the areas that I know very well. So that's going to be my goal for this trip. It's just going to be a few days. But hit some trails I wouldn't necessarily do. Got some black and white film with me, so maybe do a little experimenting with some black and white film. But maybe just lay the groundwork for future trips. And then I'll be off to Death Valley for my usual winter trip out there when it's a little less deathy. But one thing I've noticed so far on this trip is that I am completely relaxed. I am completely at peace. It's just so nice to wander around in an area that I enjoy so much without any pressure of having to come up with a bunch of photos. It's very enjoyable. So I look forward to spend a little more time here in the wintertime when there's not a lot of other people around.